Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Kevin Stansfield. Kevin is an award-winning business advisor, founder, and director of ActionCOACH Solent. So many people quit their job to become their own boss and end up becoming a slave to their business. So for the past 16 years, Kevin has worked with over 300 businesses whose owners to try to get them to work less and earn more. He's also written 3 books on how to play the game of business better than you ever thought you could play it. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Kevin Stansfield.
Great to be on, Ed. Thank you very much.
Well, first off, Kevin, why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? I've been in business most of my life. My parents started businesses when I was about 11, 12. I then went into accountancy, was working with a number of small businesses, got involved with 1 or 2 and grew them to multi-millions, and did that for about 10 years. And then got bored when they got big. They became a completely different beast. So I went back to university to learn what I thought was to learn, how you build businesses. We'd done it, but I didn't really know what we'd done that was successful. And then at that sort of time, my father's business failed. It didn't survive the mid-90s recession. And so I thought, there's these great successful businesses that seem to achieve great things. There's people like my dad who tried really hard and worked probably as hard as anybody, but couldn't make it. And what was that difference between the two? And then I bumped into ActionCOACH, which is the world's largest business coaching organization. And they had this proven, tried and tested model to get a business from, a small business into a big business. And I just loved it. I love sport. I love the concept of if you're a good athlete and you want to become a better athlete, you take a coach on. So why not in business? If you're a good business person, you want to be a better business person, why would you go and seek a coach? And I've had the pleasure of working with, say, over 300 business owners in all shapes and sizes of businesses, helping them on that roller coaster ride. And that was really why I wrote the first book as well, was a way to sort of explain that you're not alone on this journey. Hundreds and thousands and millions of people are on the same journey, but it seems very lonely when you're actually doing it yourself.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Tell me about your book, The Big Dipper: How to Survive the Roller Coaster Ride of Business Ownership.
It really came from a lot of comments from clients that said, this bloody roller coaster, it never ends, these ups and downs. And certainly the last few years with COVID, with the energy crisis, with inflation, it just continues. And I had that in the back of my head. And my father's story was this sort of one of this roller coaster where it had started, from buying a business from a man in a pub, and then building it, and then hitting a really rocky period. And then unfortunately his business failed after that. But the book has a happy ending that he meets me basically, and we help him through that. And so it was this sort of, when you're on the roller coaster, that's why people do roller coasters, because they're fun. They're actually, people pay money to go on a roller coaster. The problem is if you're sat on a roller coaster all day, every day, for the majority of your working life, you soon get sick of the roller coaster. So, and this is where people in business, majority are, they're stuck in this roller coaster, not knowing how to get off. And when they really want to get off, it's generally the worst time to get off, like now, out of COVID, a lot of businesses are well undervalued at the moment. But at the top, when things are great, when you should be looking to get off, people go, oh no, I'll just give it another year, another 2 years. And I don't want to retire yet because I'll wait till I'm 60. And they're missing the whole purpose of a business, which is a commercial profitable enterprise that gives you more life, and if you're not clear what that goal is, then you end up on this roller coaster going round and round and round and round, feeling more and more sick. And then when you're too old to actually do anything, it's probably, your business isn't worth anything at that stage anyway.
So is the roller coaster that it's something to be avoided, and can it be avoided? Can you make it flat, or can what you do is just deal with the ups and downs a little bit better?
No, and to be honest, you wouldn't want it to be flat. A roller coaster that's flat is not an exciting thing. The part of the fun in a business is the ups and downs. We'd rather more ups than downs, obviously, and when we do have a down, we want to get through it as quick as possible. But you can't avoid it. You can do things to minimize the ups and downs. A lot of ups and downs are created by the owner themselves. The people they hire. If you hire the wrong people, then you're going to go through a down at some stage. The clients that you take on, you want to be taking on what we call A grade clients, not B grade and C grade clients. But a lot of the ups and downs are actually externally generated. So, the change of government, your customers, the change in the marketplace. And if you're not aware of that, then you could be going along quite nicely, and then you get blindsided by something that happens, and suddenly your business has disappeared overnight, which is what happened to my father's business. So, after 15 years of, hard slog to get it to where it was, he just wasn't seeing what was happening around him, and he wasn't able to cope. And COVID was a classic example of that. A lot of businesses, aren't going to survive. And I don't think we're out of COVID, the effect of COVID yet. So coming into 2023, I think we're going to see a lot more business failures coming through than we probably did in the immediate aftermath of COVID.
So what's more to be avoided then? B grade customers or B grade employees or people?
Oh, God. I would definitely say B grade employees. Customers, look, you can still make money on B grade customers. You just have to handle them in a different way. But one rotten apple in your barrel of people will potentially destroy your business. And what I find with most business owners is they're too nice, and they don't run their teams like a sports team. If you're a pro league football team, and you go out and you recruit the best people you can have, and you motivate them, and you make sure they're clear what their roles are, what their goals are, but the interesting thing is in a pro league's football team, if the team don't perform, who generally gets sacked, the players or the manager?
Exactly. So, Kevin, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
I think my hero, and he wasn't at the time, was actually my father, because, having the business, dedicating his life to it, he lost his relationship with me during my teenage years because he was so focused on the business. It felt as a child that he didn't care about us as kids. But I look back and realize, now that he did it for us, that was his intention. His intentions didn't pan out in the way that he would have liked or we would have liked. We'd have much preferred the time with him. But, actually taking that risk and buying a business and running it, anybody out there that is doing that for their family, I'd say be clear what your goal is, because, if you go after the business, then there's always a sacrifice, and don't let it be your health, which it was for him. Don't let it be your family. Do it because it gives you more life, not because it takes it away from you.
And lastly, Kevin, how can somebody contact you?
The easiest way is on LinkedIn. So Kevin Stansfield, you'll find me Action Coach on there. Or if you want to find me on the website, it's abc-solent.co.uk. So.
All right. Kevin Stansfield, author of The Big Dipper, How to Survive the Roller Coaster Ride of Business Ownership. Thanks for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Great to be on. Thank you very much.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.